Bonafide Hustler here, and today I'm just going to show you some really quick finds that came from thrift stores. What's going on, guys and gals? Chris the Bonafide Hustler coming to you live from the inside of my garage. It's my damn garage. You should go follow that channel if you want to learn about fitness and workout stuff. But yeah, we're here in the garage, and there's a box right here. You can kind of see in the mirror, but there it is. And that box right there has some cool thrifted items, and I want to show them to you a little bit more in depth. So yeah, let's get right to it. Follow me on Instagram at the Bonafide Hustler, and don't forget to get the free money-making guide right here. It's the first link down below. This will teach you 50 items, what to buy, what to resell that sells for really good money, okay? On places like eBay and other places like that. Anyway, you can find these things at thrift stores and garage sales typically. Go get that guide. It's the first link down below. All right, so let's get to these finds. And the very first one actually is not in this box. It's something that I found the other day. I think I found it for around 15 bucks, maybe 13 bucks, something like that. And it is in the picture right here. It is a Specialized Rip Rock kids bike. And you might be thinking, boring, kids bike, who cares? 10 to 15 bucks. I found this, I think it's like 15 bucks. Anyway, found this thing at a Goodwill, outside of a Goodwill. Not boring, all right? Believe it or not, a Specialized Rip Rock, even in the kids model, comes with like training wheels and everything like that, with 12-inch wheels or even 16-inch wheels, okay? So these are kids' bikes. This bike is around $300 new in a store. That's crazy. It's an aluminum frame. It comes with some training wheels, and it comes with some, fatter than normal tires. But there's nothing really special about this bike, all right? It's got a coaster brake. That means like when you pedal backwards, it's braking. I mean, it is really, really simple. For 15 bucks, I really think that this thing would resell for around 100 to about 120 bucks. Because, someone that's out there going to a bike store, and here in Austin, Texas, biking is a huge thing. They're going to go to a bike store and see this thing for 300 bucks. Then they're going to go, man, that's kind of expensive. They're going to get on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, and they're going to find this mine, for substantially less money. And that's my plan on it, right? What do you guys think? Comment down below. But a Specialized Rip Rock, that's not boring at all. So you got to look out for things like that. So if you're going to look for a Rip Rock, you also want to look for a Hot Rock, a Trek Mystic, a Trek MT220. These kids bikes can carry some crazy, crazy resale. So yeah, but those are the two brands that I would look for if I were you. I would look for a Specialized or a Trek kids bike. And yeah, outside of that, maybe some Giant ones and some Live ones and maybe an Electra, cool. But Trek and Specialized have some of the most expensive kids bikes out there. Nuts. All right, now we're gonna go in the box, and I had to rescue this one. Sometimes I go to thrift stores and I know where this is gonna go. It's either gonna go in my possession, it's gonna get cut up into like a gym tank or something cool, or it's gonna go in my antique booth, or it can go on eBay for around 50 bucks. But I have to rescue things like this. And oftentimes when it comes to vintage clothing or vintage RC, sometimes even vintage cycling kind of stuff, like I just rescue it on principle. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like you just go somewhere and you see something that's so old, and you just rescue it based on principle. Like I rescued a Tonka Millennium Falcon from like the Star Wars thing, not even the Milton Bradley, or is it Bradley? Anyway. Yeah, not even that one, right? Not even the old one. This one was like made in the 90s, I want to say. I rescued that one from a garage sale for $5. I sold it in my booth for like 70 bucks, But I rescued it on principle because I was like, it might sell for 40 bucks, but it was just like, man, you don't see this every day. So anyway, on principle, I rescued this. And this is a Yaga shirt, kind of like an interesting, 90s/2000s brand up there with Stussy. I think they're kind of the same company. I don't know. Anyway, really neat Yaga shirt. Right? We have a single stitch sleeve as well. And then we have a nice kind of fat collar, and then straight up Yaga. Yaga, was in stores that were Yaga stores. And oftentimes in the Yaga stores, I think you found Stussy shirts as well, which is kind of like cool clothing for back then. But yeah, this shirt's pretty neat, size large. I might just shave off the sleeves, but certain Yaga shirts out there, if you take a look at Yaga sold shirts on eBay, there are some that are definitely between 50 and 100 bucks. Few and far between, but still something to look out for. Vintage t-shirts are a huge market. Obviously, this is not like a brand new thing by any means. And hopefully you guys aren't sitting out there going, oh my gosh, I just learned something new, like vintage t-shirts. No, like there are plenty of vintage t-shirts that sell for incredible amounts of money, but something that you don't see every day is a Yaga shirt. So anyway, might keep it, might put it in my booth for like, I don't know, 30 to 50 bucks, but not something you see every day. So I wanted to show you guys. All right, so at the time that this video is airing, it is fall, right? And it is jacket season. When I hear fall and it starts getting a little cold, the first cold front comes through, I start thinking jackets, and the jackets, sections in thrift stores start getting kind of larger. And jackets are interesting as opposed to like long sleeve t-shirts and pants. A jacket section is a lot easier to go through. You just have to kind of know what to look out for. So as a general rule, if you have watched this show called Yellowstone, that's a really good show to kind of show you some cool jacket type pickups that you should be looking out for, like that style, that kind of suede, rancher, Western, rough kind of wear. Like look for things like that. Like that's probably be my number one tip, is like look for rugged Western Colorado type ranch wear. That would be really important. So when you start looking for things like that, you're going to start looking at Mackinac flannels and things like this, okay? This is not something you see every day. This is probably from the late 2000s, something like that. This is a Ralph Lauren 1967 flannel women's like kind of Mackinac coat. This is actually pretty cool. Now Ralph Lauren stuff is pretty collectible when it comes to the jackets and the more rare type jackets, but oftentimes if you take a look at like sold RL jackets, the ones that are selling for the highest amounts of money are deerskin ones. They're things that look a little bit more ranch style a lot of times, right? You'll find bomber jackets in the top kind of categories of things to resell. Just sold one of those like 6 months ago. Actually I sold that thing for like $1,500 and I was like 150 into it. That's for another video. But anyway, so yeah, look for things like this and look for like the varsity sailing things, or the varsity rugby things, and then the sailing collection. But this is something you don't see every single day. When you're dealing with wool garments, by the way, this is a wool garment, make sure you look for holes because there's almost guaranteed to be one. And I was really surprised when this one didn't have a single one. So that's even better. This one should resell for around 150 to about 170 bucks. And yeah, this one, I think I am like 13 bucks into it. Women's really beautiful jacket. I mean, not something you see every single day. Now, while we're on the jacket theme, I found another cool jacket, but the brand it's all right? It actually does better in the men's type outerwear, but this is pretty cool. Look at this kind of longer type jacket for women's. Beautiful, right? You'd be like thinking, that must be Pendleton, or that must be something, kind of rare. And it kind of looks like a Pendleton or similar type brand, but this is actually a King Ranch branded women's jacket with tags. You can see it. It's King Ranch right there. See it? All right. So King Ranch is actually a really good brand when it comes to leather goods, typically bags especially, right? And King Ranch actually, yes, if you're thinking, is that the kind of stuff that I see on the the Ford F-150s and the 250s? Yes, the King Ranch actually, I think, sells the leather to put into those trucks. And it's beautiful, very strong, like purpose-built leather, right? But they do make bags that are King Ranch, and those things sell for really good money, whether they're duffel bags or weekenders or garment bags. Like look out for King Ranch, especially when it comes to bags. Now, when it comes to jackets, then yeah, they make jackets as well for men and women. The women's ones, I probably wouldn't pull the trigger too much on unless it's something really cool, like something like this. And this one right here, I think was 20 bucks out the door. I do believe this will probably sell for right around 120 to 150 right here. It does have the tags, but it's rare enough that even if it didn't have the tags, it would still be worth a pretty good chunk of change. It's a really, really nice kind of longer type coat, technically a medium. So I think some lady out there that finds this on the listing or something like that, I could even put it in my booth as like a double listed kind of item. What I like about these kind of items is you kind of corner the market because there's gonna be nothing else like it out there. And so when I try to find, things to sell similar, or things to kind of base my price on, there's pretty much nothing out there that kind of looked like this that was King Ranch. So that means I can actually make my price and I can do whatever I want. And that's the reason why I think, around 120 to 150 is actually a reasonable price that this thing would sell for. So what do you guys think down below? Let me know, right? But things like this you don't see every day at a thrift store. Last find from a Goodwill. We're keeping this theme of like, workwear and ranch type stuff and logger boots and all that kind of stuff. What we have here is actually a really nice pair of Red Wing boots, right? So these are more like blacksmith type, not so much logger type, because when you take a look under them, they're not exactly like a super hiking undersole, but they're still rough enough to where they're definitely a work boot of some sort. So believe it or not, this boot right here is probably going to resell for around maybe 170 to about 200 bucks, because this model right here actually sells on eBay between 200 and 300 all the time. But I'm kind of giving it a low estimate just because it's not the best size ever. It's like a 9.5, and who knows? Like I'd be happy with 160 to 190 kind of spread, something like that on these. They're in pretty good condition. They are Red Wings, and the actual model number is a 3343. So you can go look it up for yourself and take a look at it. And yeah, they're nice. I kind of wish it was my size. I would totally keep them. And the thing about Red Wings is oftentimes people buy them and then they just resole them over and over and over and over again. So anyway, not something you see every single day at the thrift store, but look for these type of boots or even the taller types, something like that. People love these kind of things, all right? They resell for great, great money. I paid $11 for these at a Goodwill last week. So the video is real short, and I just wanted to tell you guys about those items so you know, when you're going out there, you can start looking for things like that and make that money. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, hit the like button down below and make sure you follow me at the Bonafide Hustler on Instagram. We'll see you on the next YouTube video. Take it easy. Goodbye.